Hi, welcome to Renew Counselling. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Because our subject matter is the mind, we'll see three basic principles on how our mind works. There are three principles on how our mind works or reacts or gives us thoughts and behaviors. They are id, ego, and superego. Don't be alarmed about the names. They are taken from Latin, and the ego is not like the ego in English, but it has a different meaning. So let's know more about id, ego, and superego, and let's see how they are related to us. The first one is id. It works on pleasure principle, completely impulsive, and it's always driven by pleasure. Next is superego. Superego always works on moral principles, ethical values, and our core beliefs. In the middle is ego, which always works on the reality principle. It helps us to navigate life in a practical way and socially acceptable way. It is a bridge between id and superego. So first one is id, then ego, and the superego. These three principles play a major role in every reaction that we have, in every thought that we get, in every behavior that we manifest in. Let's see an example. The statement is, I want an ice cream. Id says, I want an ice cream and I want it right now because I take pleasure while eating an ice cream. Superego is like a grandmother in the house. It always says, no, ice cream has lots of sugar, it's not healthy, it's not good for the body. And then ego in the middle says, yes, I really want to eat an ice cream, but I also know that it's not healthy, and I also know that I just ate an ice cream yesterday. So I'll wait for the next week. So this is how the three always interplay in our mind. And this is not automatic. We can always renew our thoughts. We can always restructure and tell them how to talk. We can restructure our mind. This is how a person is driven. A person is always driven by either pleasure or moral or reality principles. There is no thought that escapes these three principles, but we can restructure our minds, we can renew our thinking patterns. Which one is the best? Which one gets the first prize? The key is to balance all these three. For example, if a person has been dominated by the pleasure principle from childhood, it definitely shows in the behavior patterns. For example, he might get addicted to alcohol or smoking because it gives him an immediate gratification. The pleasure that comes instantly is what he's after. So I don't want to say that, we should always be driven by ego or superego, but there should always be a balance, because if we are highly dominated by superego, there are chances that we become like a perfectionist and we are always under guilt if we don't match up to our own standards that we have set. So that's also not good. If we go for ego always, it always checks about reality and practicality and all that, but we might lose out on enjoying the desires or giving value to the moral values either. No behavior is automatic, no thought is automatic. So next time when you get a thought or when you want to react in some way, think about the three basic principles that are interconnected in your brain. These three will keep talking in themselves, but to which one will you give the strength? Which one will dominate you? It's in your hands. Take charge of your mind. Take charge of these three principles. Don't let them dominate you, but you dominate them. You choose what way you want to behave. If you want to react in a pleasure principle way, you can choose that. If you want to choose moral or reality principle, it's up to us. But give it a thought. Be intentional in the way that you react and the way you feel and the way you behave. I hope we all will have good mental health by balancing these three principles. Take care.